in order to solve for x in the next few types of questions, I would like to just reiterate a concept. If I give you x over 2, and I say to you, what is the coefficient of x in this case? Remember, in front of that x is actually a 1. So it's 1x over 2. So in this case, the coefficient of x is a half. Okay? If I give you 3 over 4 x, what does it mean? It means 3 over 4 multiplied by x. So another way we could write this is, remember this x is over 1. So 3 times x is 3x. 4 times 1 is 4. Remember, when we're multiplying fractions, we say numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. So in this case, the coefficient of x is 3 over 4. What would happen if I have a fraction next to a bracket? Just remember, a fraction next to a bracket, when there is no plus or minus sign separating the fraction from the bracket, tells me that this is one whole term. And this third is multiplied by 2x plus 3. So remember, the 2x plus 3, what is it over? It's actually over 1. So let's say there's a little multiplication sign over there. 1 times 2x plus 3 is 2x plus 3. 3 times 1 equals 3. So in fact, you can just take this little fraction line and you extend it over the bracket. Or if I look at this example, if I have 2 over 4 times x plus 5. What does it mean? The x plus 5 is over 1. So in actual fact, it's 2x plus 5 all divided by that 4. And then you would simplify. Now, why am I going through these types of questions? Let's look at the following type of equation. If I've been given a third multiplied by 2x plus 3 equals 3 over 2 x plus 7. Now, remember, this third is multiplied by 2x plus 3. So in fact, we could just rewrite this entire equation to make it look a lot more simple and manageable. So in fact, I've got 2x plus 3 in the numerator multiplied by 1, which I don't have to write, over 3 equals 3 times x plus 7 all over 2. Now, how are we going to solve this equation? We say to ourselves, I've got a denominator of 3 and 2. What am I going to do? I find my LCD. My LCD is 6. Again, you could write it over 6 if you wanted to. 3 goes into 6 how many times? 2 times. So it's 2 multiplied by 2x plus 3. And you see how important it is to keep those two brackets there so that we remember to distribute. 2 goes into 6 how many times? 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9. We distribute in 4x plus 6 equals 9x plus 63. Okay, bring all of the variables to one side, take all of your constants to the other side, and we get minus 5x equals 57. We divide by minus 5 on both sides, and we get minus 57 over 5. Or you could write 57 over minus 5. Both of these would be accepted. Doesn't matter if the minus is in the numerator, the denominator, or next to the fraction. Now just remember grade 8s. This is not a pretty answer. 5 cannot go into 57. Just because you get an ugly answer does not mean your equation is wrong. It just means you have an ugly answer. So just be careful. Don't think you're wrong just because you don't get a beautiful answer at the end of the question. Let's look at a similar type of question. If I give you 5 over 7y plus 2 equals a half y plus 3/4. Okay, now that looks really ugly. So again, let's simplify. I know that this fraction over here, this y is part of the numerator. And again over here, that y is part of the numerator. There's a mixed number, so let's simplify it. So we will have 5y over 7 plus 2 equals 1y. You don't need to write the 1. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 1 is 13 over 4. Okay, now remember, this 2, yes, it's a whole number, but it still has a denominator of 1. Don't forget about that denominator. So we say to ourselves, what does 7, 1, 2, and 4 go into? So in this case, your LCD would be 28. So we say 7 goes into 28. How many times? 4 times. So 4 times 5. 1 goes into 28. 28 times. 28 times 2. You don't have to show these steps. I'm just doing them to reiterate the concept. 2 goes into 28 14 times. So it's 14 times y. And 4 into 28 is 7 times 13. Let's multiply out. Bring your variables to the one side. Take your constant terms to the other side. And we're left with 6y equals 35. Simplify, and we get 35 over 6. Again, that's your most simplified answer. It's not a beautiful fraction, but my answer is still correct.